What is that? It's a little fucking bomb.
And the Batman and
suppository.
Batman versus Superman, he like bat brands people.
No.
Like he has a hot iron and he brands the criminals that he sends to jail, and it's a death sentence, he says.
In the trailer.
Which doesn't make...
From who?
Right, like
From
if you
inmates.
went to jail and you had a bat brand because you're like, yeah, Batman put me in here. Why would people be like, oh, I'm going to kill you now?
Yeah, you're a bitch.
Like, everyone would be like, yeah, I fucking hate Batman too.
Yeah, really, especially if there's a lot of people in jail with that bat symbol, because, like, you know, unless you're actually, like, a child molester, you probably aren't going to get killed because the Batman deemed it so. Like, if you're, like...
just to scare them into...
Yeah.
They think that Batman's going to come back and kill them or something.
Just look at a lot of these great ads.
Yep.
Some
so nasty.
Some skin.
Foreskin. Just
How many?
Fantastic foreskin.
That's actually all that skin that you see coming off him. It's all foreskin.
Yeah, what if the Fantastic Four consisted entirely of skin clones? The Fantastic Four skin. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, see, he could, if you had a replacement Fantastic Four where, like, I don't know, She-Hulk's the Thing, who could be the Invisible Woman? Fucking, is there a female version of Vision? Lady Vision, Ultimate Vision.
Oh, Joe Costa.
Okay, yeah, put Joe Costa on there. Why not? And then Skin can replace Mr. Fantastic, but his code name is Foreskin.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's some Electra for you.
What kind of material is that suit?
Magic.
Paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like all superhero costumes.
Yeah.
People complain about the sexualization of
Yeah.
but like male superheroes are also sexualized and have idealized figures that are like put out there. It's just men are less pissy about that whole thing.
Robin and Jubilee.
Is that two Jonah Jamesons?
No, it's the fact that Perry White is apparently drawn exactly like Jonah Jameson in this.
Oh, they've been wearing pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
Newsman.
And they're both gritting their teeth with cigarettes in them. They both have watches on.
Hello and welcome to the WIP, the What If podcast that's a work in progress. I'm your host, Captain Marvel, the Slim James, joined by Scarecrow, the franchise, and Guardian, Andrew the Giant. Why am I using names of characters that are in both the Marvel and DC universes? Because we're talking, it's a bonus episode, Marvel vs. DC, parentheses, 1996, close parentheses.
Period.
Yeah, it's 20 years ago. Will Bob Dole dethrone Bill Clinton for the presidency?
Who's to say?
Nope. Isn't the internet a mysterious thing? You can go on there and look at pictures of magic cards.
You gotta get your AOL disc though.
Scream! Aww. It's a time when Wizard magazine ruled the world in terms of comics. It's pretty snazzy. Marvel and DC decided to have a crossover. Nay, the crossover. Rather than be limited to two characters or teams like the previous Spider-Man vs. Superman, Spider-Man vs. Batman, Hulk vs. Batman,
Fucking love Spider-Man.
X-Men vs. Teen Titans, maybe others. We get entire universes fighting. Cue up the Power Man 5000, because this is what it's like when worlds collide. Drop the bomb, bobbity bombshell. Get up. Not only that, you, the fans, get to vote on the action. Who will win each fight?
How much does it cost to vote? Do I have to make a special phone call that costs like $1?
Maybe, or you have to cut.
Stamp.
You have to like cut something out of your comic to, or pay like $0.25 for a photocopy. Maybe.
What?
Ugh.
This is bullshit.
Kinkos.
So the big marquee matchups: Superman, that hoe, versus Hulk. Batman versus Captain America. Namor versus Aquaman. Technically makes sense.
Yeah, I mean...
Quicksilver versus Flash. Technically makes sense, but Quicksilver and Namor, those are your frontline superheroes.
Back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Even? Like...
Spider-Man versus Superboy. because they're clones. But like Spider-Man, in terms of character relevancy, is like on a whole nother level than Superboy.
Yeah,
but
well, they already did Spider-Man versus Superman, right?
yeah,
Spider-Man
that was
versus,
that was a crossover in the 70s.
Yeah, but then they're downgrading him to Superboy.
Yeah, because it's the clone. Fuck
You
that.
could have had like X-Man versus Superboy. They're about the same level of relevance.
Yes, and they're both weird, youthful clones of existing characters. Blah.
Much better.
You're gonna have X-Man on the front lines of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, who would Spider-Man has to be there. Fighting
Exactly.
someone.
In theory, he should be fighting Batman. I think that's probably a better matchup. But then who does Captain America fight? Aquaman? Aqualung?
Martian Manhunter.
Exactly. Robin versus Jubilee. Okay.
I just saw them kissing under a bridge in Venice. It looked like.
Wolverine versus Lobo, because it's the 90s and Lobo's still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Thor versus Captain Marvel. Once again, like they match up technically, but like Captain Marvel, really? Yeah.
The DC Captain Marvel. Let's be specific here.
Come on now.
Marvel Captain Marvel. That'd be cool. Him versus Thor. All right.
Wonder Woman versus Storm. Like you're like second in command on the female X-Men roster versus, like it should be like Captain America versus Wonder Woman, where you can't have man-on-woman violence unless they're underage.
Right.
Robin and Jubilee. So yeah, there's some weird matchups. And unfortunately, this crossover also came at a time when both companies were knee-deep in 90s character redesign / recharacterization bullshit. So like Superman has a mullet. Hulk is no longer a raging beast, but Bruce Banner's brain. That's some alliteration. In a sometimes sexy Hulk body.
Is it like a Krang?
No.
Yeah, he's in the belly.
Yeah.
No, but he like, instead of having a monster face, he's drawn his regular guy face, even though how smart he is shouldn't affect what his face looks like.
Shouldn't, but 90s.
Yeah. So he has like a middle part.
Yeah, regular guy.
Yeah. Thor has a stupid blue costume on. Aquaman, actually a decent redesign with the one hand and
The hook?
stuff.
The hook hand?
Yeah. So, but still, like, it's not your classic Aquaman. Spider-Man isn't even friggin' Peter Parker. It's Ben Reilly. He's a clone and all that crap. Green Lantern isn't Hal Jordan. It's Kyle Rayner. So, like, instead of having these classic characters you think of, you get a lot of 90s bullshit fighting each other.
It's probably an agreement that they had so that Peter Parker can't get beat. It's not even actually Peter Parker.
No, it's just because Spider-Man was a clone at that time. They were. It wasn't like Ben Reilly became Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they put Scarlet Spider in his place, and he's like all dressed up as Spider-Man for now. It was he had already become Spider-Man.
Oh, right.
Sensational Spider-Man #0, inked by Klaus Janson. I have it. My boy. Yeah, and
Janssen.
you can tell that this is pre-Marvel movies and shit because Iron Man is completely irrelevant. You don't have him banging around. Because I think at this point he might have been a teenage time-traveling version of himself.
Right, yeah.
Good old 90s bullshit.
So this is right before Onslaught, right?
Yeah, essentially it's like, the year before or whatever.
Okay. Just trying to timeline that stuff. So Janet Van Dyne is like a mutated wasp creature.
Could be. She doesn't really show up in this. Her or Giant Man.
What about Goliath? What about Ant-Man?
I don't know.
Yellowjacket?
Hawkeye's there, probably fighting Green Arrow. See, like, you could probably...
They just keep shooting the arrows, like, they shoot it exactly at the same
keep
point
splitting.
over and over.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the story. Is there a story? The brothers Cosmic, Big Red and Big Blue, not gum and a computer, but...
Are those actually what they're called?
They don't really have... I think they're called the Brothers Cosmic. They don't have names beyond that. They're anthropomorphizations of the DC universes. Nerd breakdown. Does this trump eternity?
Well,
Do they contain all of the multiverses within this big red or blue body? Like, is it Earth 616 in there, or is it all of the What If Earth and all of the Earth-1 and Crisis on the Infinite Earths inside?
Is one of them a Marvel and one of them is the DC universes?
Yes.
Well, so then eternity is
inside of Marvel.
within either the red or the blue.
Yeah. Okay, but I thought eternity was the anthropomorphization of all that is.
Apparently not.
Oh, God. Yeah, so, like, is eternity the anthropomorphization of the 616 universe, and there are infinite numbers of him that are contained within the
big blue or red.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Yep.
We had
made
this,
the rules.
We solved it.
We had the big nerd breakdown.
Because I mean, Eternity and Living Tribunal,
Yes.
in the Marvel Universe, they're pretty even. Like,
yeah, but like the Living Tribunal doesn't represent all that is.
right? But I mean, you see him like battling
It's
one
the
of the
Spectre.
brothers, Cosmic, and like he's just this tiny little guy who can barely do anything to this humongous guy.
Yeah. So in theory, there are infinite multiverses within this.
Is this embodiment of Marvel the one above all?
No.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah, and in fact, what universe do they exist in? Is it inside of a big purple? Is it inside of Grimace? So anyway, the actual story. Is there a story? They start fighting because they just start crossing over because there's a cardboard box exploding with light.
Oh.
People start crossing over pretty much just because. Spider-Man is the first to go, so that the first panel you see is a big full-page splash of Spider-Man because he's Spider-Man.
Right.
Gotta move books. Yeah. He meets the Joker in Gotham on a rooftop. They have a calm discussion. Joker...
Really?
Yeah. The Joker alludes, I am just breaking out, beating this word to death, to a previous encounter, the Batman-Spider-Man crossover that came out in like 1995 or something.
So this happens in the same universe.
Well, that's the
that
thing.
crossover
He friggin'
happened.
breaks reality because it's like, is this because this doesn't actually affect real continuity. So this takes place in a sort of separate universe, or at least the universes that are fighting each other.
Oh, no.
But that's the same universe that Batman and Spider-Man crossed over in, maybe. But it's all a moot point because Ben Reilly doesn't remember it because it was Peter Parker that met Batman. Yep.
90s.
Yeah. So some more crossing over happens, and it's basically like flashes of panels of people fighting each other.
Like Jonathan Edwards?
Absorbing Man fights Steel.
Why?
Superman takes on Annihilus. Wolverine fights Killer Croc. Green
Wait,
Lantern.
How did the negative zone portal get open too?
Green Lantern fights Green Goblin because green, and Daredevil fights the Riddler, the Diddler.
Yep.
So yeah, so like a lot of this is just like flashes of, oh, here's some cool battles that would happen if maybe, but there's no like reasons for anything happening. Batman and Bullseye have a slightly extended tussle where they actually talk to each other. For some reason, we get a lot of Clark Kent and Peter Parker, which is Ben Reilly's photographer alias. He's not actually Peter Parker. He's Ben Reilly saying he's Peter Parker, photographer. Yeesh.
Why?
I don't know.
What's happening?
Wait a minute.
Also, why is Ben Reilly as good a photographer as Peter Parker? He hasn't had the years of experience.
No, that just came with the clone.
Okay.
They cloned that experience.
They're interacting at the Daily Bugle planet as Pete Ben tries to hit on Lois Lane.
Okay.
Because like he crossed over and now he's just hanging out at the Daily Planet. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess. Well, you're a freelance photographer. Here's a couple bucks.
I guess.
So eventually, heroes are selected as representatives to fight it out. Kind of like the Big Red and Big Blue.
Oh, so it's like what was that?
Secret Wars, Contest of Champions.
Contest of Champions.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not really that secret. The battles are tearing the worlds apart. For some reason, another key matchup, which wasn't really part of the hype, but is featured, is like Elektra versus Catwoman. The battle we've all been clamoring for.
Yeah.
Should have been Black Cat versus Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Missed opportunity.
fights break down like this: Superman versus Hulk. Superman wins. Batman versus Captain America. Batman wins because it's a fan vote, and they basically have a stalemate, but Captain America trips a little bit or like falls down, but then he gets right back up.
Oops.
Like, I guess you technically win, but I gotta stay strong.
Is that how superhero fights go? First one to fall down loses.
Kind of. It's
like a hockey fight.
it's like first knockdown. Namor versus Aquaman. I think Aquaman is. I stopped paying attention because who gives a fuck.
So far, it's all the DC guys. Well,
Quicksilver versus Flash. Flash wins because come on.
another one.
Robin versus Jubilee. I think Jubilee wins, but they just make out.
We all win.
So Jubilee's the first Marvel one to win out of that list.
She wins by makeout.
Yeah.
And
Rogue.
Flash.
this is at the time where they
with light and. And with boobs.
Well, here's the thing. This was the point where they forgot that Jubilee was actually supposed to be Asian, and she's just drawn like a white girl. Like she's just some white girl.
Not into Asian girls.
No.
So it's a good thing she was white.
Spider-Man versus Superboy. Spider-Man via electricity.
Spider-Man doesn't have electricity powers.
He goes, and jumps out of the way, and Superboy flies into a transformer.
What an idiot.
An electric transformer, not Optimus Prime.
There wasn't that crossover too?
No. Wolverine versus Lobo. Wolverine, because it's a fan vote, he wins, even though Lobo apparently has went toe-to-toe with Superman once or something. Like, he's apparently actually much stronger than Wolverine, but nowhere near as popular, so Wolverine gets to win.
Oh.
Luckily, this was pre-Wolverine's nose fell off and he had a pirate bandana. That would have been some more 90s bullshit to just throw in there. Thor versus Captain Marvel. Thor wins when he punks out Billy Batson. He's like...
Punks him out?
Well, I think he's like, yeah, friggin', why don't you say Shazam or some shit? And then he's, Billy Batson now, lightning! And then he knocks him out.
Hey, what's that word that you use to transform? You mean Shazam?
Exactly. And then Wonder Woman versus Storm. Friggin' Storm wins with electricity. That shit ain't happening. I'm sorry.
No.
Wonder Woman just has to say, think of it in a closed box. Ah!
Or just hold off getting hit with lightning for just a second, and then she'll pass out.
And she'll fall. No one will catch her.
Exactly, because Wolverine's nowhere around. So, somewhere in all this brouhaha, Wonder Woman picks up Thor's hammer for a couple times.
Wait, Wonder Woman picks it up?
Yeah.
I thought, like, Superman picked it up.
That's in JLA Avengers.
Oh, my God. That's the other crossover thing.
Yeah. Not much happens from it. In fact, at the end, she just picks it up and hands it to him. Like that bullshit with Vision in the Age of Ultron. Like, you prove you're worthy to hand it to someone else. What the fuck's the point? Jesus Christ.
You're a good squire.
They'll revisit that, I guarantee it.
Here's hoping, but like
He'll use
they
it.
totally botched it.
It's just a teaser for something coming up, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's
How
so
could a
stupid.
robot be worthy?
Because like it's supposed to like, oh my god, is it?
Because it's like completely pure.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like
All good.
it's supposed to be like Captain America picks it up because he's the
Captain
only
America.
man human.
Still
Don't
good.
budge.
Yeah, but then it's taking away all the heat because Vision's already just been like, here, I'll hand it to you. So eventually, Axel Asher, the original character that's the creation on all this, he's the man between worlds. It's his future self, or maybe it's not. Shows him the cool box. It's a portal or something. Yeah.
Look in the box.
Exactly. Eventually, he gets a cool red and blue costume. I say cool, I don't mean it.
Red and blue. Boy, those colors have never been used together.
Not in comics.
And eventually, rather than destroy each other, the brothers Cosmics crash into each other. What the fuck is DMB style?
Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, yeah.
Crash.
Exactly.
Your notes.
Yeah. So real fans call him Dave.
Yeah. Well, you just put Dave Band.
So, like,
Dave's Band.
Yeah.
I see at the end the two brothers like shake hands and they say,
Hey, whoa.
"Man, I thought you were already talking about them crashing into each other. That's the end."
Yeah, because they become the amalgam universe. And then eventually they go their separate ways, worlds apart. And apparently this was also because the Spectre and Living Tribunal were holding hands for a little bit. Like,
Wait, what?
they were doing the Roman handshake where they grab each other's forearms.
Yep.
And
Foreskins.
while they were doing that, yeah, they were docking. And during that, the amalgam universe happened. So apparently that also may have,
How long were they holding hands?
like 1 month
only
while they
takes a second.
released all 12 for the first wave amalgam issues.
Oh.
Also, subject for a separate podcast.
All right. Well, that doesn't. I wasn't
Docking?
spoiling any of what you were going to say.
No, but you were jumping ahead to the end.
Well, you just said at the end they crashed into
Ooh.
each other. DMB style.
Yeah. So anyway, they separate, and they say, "Done good."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, is that supposed to be the two companies telling each other, "Hey, you've done pretty good.
You
it's
guys
good
are
that
all right.
Yeah. Well, you can't have one universe actually win over the other. Like, what a bunch of bitches.
But
Go over to
didn't
that
they
again.
like in the JLA Avengers?
Didn't read it, so I don't know.
I think they actually had one win over the other.
Hey, it could happen. They should have DC versus the Malibu Ultraverse, where just they fucking wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
do a victory lap. Superman's
Dinosaurs
just
for Hire.
That's Malibu?
Yeah. Well, it was early on anyway.
yeah. That
And
pre-Marvel
Eternity,
buyout.
it went does Marvel own that?
Yeah, they bought it out, and
It was
then
Malibu and the Dinosaurs for Hire anyway. This is all I know. Malibu and then Dinosaurs for Hire was Eternity Comics, and then
there you go.
waiting on that movie.
Need some Ultra for. Well, apparently there's something weird with the whole Malibu back catalog, so there's no like digital versions or trades of them printed out. Like apparently Marvel, there's something where they might have to pay somebody some money
So they're
for
worth
rights. No, they're still garbage.
more. Oh.
Well, a lot of the stuff, and then, like nobody knows who owns the rights to a lot of those, like the older characters outside of the core Marvel stuff, like whatever they bought from.
Yeah, or
Malibu
Epic,
or
some of
something.
the Epic stuff, Dreadstar.
Yeah, so somebody may have bought Dinosaurs for Hire, but then they just don't remember, so nobody knows.
Yeah.
Sitting on some shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
So overall, this thing was corn to the extreme.
Sure was.
A freak on a leash.
Oh no.
Jonathan Davis.
Rather than have characters interact normally or have some sort of larger threat where maybe they fight a little bit and then team up, they're just arbitrarily placed together in a sort of video game way to fight a little bit, and then
They're near each other.
yeah, and the results of the battle are determined by votes rather than logic. So instead of an epic story, you get a crossover that should be like one of the landmark limited series, and instead it's just ultimately forgotten. Do you guys ever have any strong connection with this?
No, sir.
Exactly. But you know like what Secret Wars is and Crisis on the Infinite Earths.
Sure do.
Yeah. Post like they had a few more crossovers after, possibly subjects of future episodes, but like there was, I think the last one was the JLA Avengers one in like 2004.
Yeah.
Because then now Marvel fights itself. Like they don't even like the X-Men because Fox owns the right to that, and they're all pissy about the Fantastic Four. So they're definitely not gonna cross over with DC, whose movies are made by a different company entirely. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Like cinematic crossover. That'd be awful.
yeah,
Just awful.
like
Yeah, well, then it would be them just arguing over who should get more screen time and who. I mean,
Yeah. Is it
nobody
going to
can
be
lose.
desaturated or is it going to be bright and colorful? How many jokes can
both.
we have in this
Anytime
movie?
there's a Marvel character on screen, it's very lighthearted and bright. And then when it switches to a DC character, it's very dark.
And if they're both on screen, it's just a line right in the middle.
Yep.
Black and white, colors.
and then so there's so many jokes coming from Marvel characters, and Batman's just like,
I don't get
Just
it.
gives up and leaves.
yeah. So hey, I came up with a storyline that's real quick that'd be way better. Maybe Darkseid rips the universe a new one, travels to Marvel, and gets the Infinity Gauntlet, referring to our previous Infinity episode.
Where did he get it?
He just got it.
Just found it.
The same way,
Norman Osborn
yeah.
disintegrated and left the thing
So it's
floating around in space.
Well, the same way Norman
Stumbled
Osborn
across
got
it.
it. He just
Found
bring
it.
me those, and in 3 panels I'll have them. We'll just write some text that just sort of
give them to me, please.
yeah. So then Marvel guys want the gauntlet back because then he'll destroy the universe. But the DC guys, thinking that the Marvel guys want the reality-altering powers for themselves, fight them for a bit. So that's you get your Superman versus Hulk and all that stuff.
Just explain what's going on instead of just fighting.
After the misunderstanding is sorted out,
Adults.
they fight Darkseid
Nope.
together. Darkseid. Maybe Thanos shows up. I don't know if DC has a super weapon that's applicable, but
For,
that's analogous to the Infinity Gauntlet.
oh,
I think there's some
I'm
sort
sure
of
Lasso of
there's
truth.
probably
yes, the lasso of truth.
control the universe.
Yeah, maybe like a bunch of Green Lantern rings. Like he goes a little parallaxy.
Well, there's all those other color rings too. Like Mandarin could get one of every color. of
Yeah,
ring.
that didn't exist in 1996.
No.
Like maybe some yellow, but that was it.
Sinestro.
Yeah. But yeah, so eventually then you have all the combined forces taking on these villains. It took me like 5 minutes to write, and it's way better than this arbitrary bullshit where like, hey, we're gonna pick Wolverine, we're gonna pick Lobo, we're just gonna place them near each other.
Okay, see those two, if they were just next to each other in real life, they probably would start fighting.
Yeah.
No, I think they would be friends.
No.
They're
One of them
same-
likes.
They're both burly, grumpy guy.
Yeah, at the
but
very
also,
least,
like,
I don't think they'd fight. I think they just wouldn't talk to each other, and
Or maybe
they
they'd
just
get into
walk in different
Get into
directions.
a tussle and then go, oh, you're all right.
Ah,
You're all
bub.
right, bub.
Yeah, because they order different types of beer.
Yeah.
And they fight about it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I guess this beer isn't
You're
that
not
bad.
so bad.
Yeah, and in fact, well, they get
They
along
each other's
sometimes.
beer in their mouth.
They do get.
Let me just stick my cigar in there, too.
There are a couple instances of the heroes getting along in this Marvel vs. DC. Angel and Hawkman flying next to each other.
Oh, that's cute.
And then
Are they holding hands?
She-Hulk and Supergirl fighting crime together. They don't show who they're fighting. It's just they're bursting through a brick wall.
The Kool-Aid Man?
Yeah. So I got all of these issues in one fell swoop under the Christmas tree when I was 10. So they hold a special place in my heart.
Oh,
But-
so it was too late for you to vote then.
Yeah, I wasn't going to vote anyway. Come on.
Well,
This
just-
mail-in shit. Yeah, but this was at a time when the world was filled with wonder, and Marvel vs. DC seemed like the biggest deal ever, and Amalgam Comics was just mind-blowing. You're going to make comics that smush two characters together? What? And publish them? Like this isn't just some fanfiction deviant art bullshit?
Yeah, because nowadays, oh, you want to see what it would look like if these two characters were this mashed up? Type it in, you'll see 50 of them.
Exactly. Yeah, well, we'll get into those into the Amalgam episode, which is coming. I definitely want to do that, because I own all of those issues.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
if you look at, like, amalgam, like on Wikipedia, the amalgam list is like an amalgam of Man-Thing and Swamp Thing. But it's just like,
Man Swamp.
yeah, it's like Swamp Man or something like that. But there's a huge list.
Yeah, because they came up with a bunch of different wacky background
Yeah, they
characters
just
just tossed in there.
Put them in the background and never even mentioned them by name, but
Yeah.
they had names appearing.
Thing.
Yeah.
So,
Big
yeah. Overall, these issues fall in like the uncommon bucket. There's probably a bunch out there because it was a crossover in the mid '90s. And so like they're not that expensive, but you don't see them a lot. Like I found one in the quarter bin in all of my time of looking, so I picked it up as a spare.
Why isn't Spider-Man on the cover? I mean, I see Spider-Man
Because-
boy.
Spider Boy, because well, in issue 4 they're de-amalgamating.
Oh, okay.
See, this is the separating beam. Yeah, don't worry, he's on the other 3 covers.
Oh, good.
It's just him.
Just making sure.
So, also part of this, we got ourselves a separate top 10 list.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
top 10 by Alan Moore.
Yep.
So,
Good comic. I know you've read it.
Classic.
Maybe you'd have
No,
something to say.
I got bored and didn't finish it.
Oh,
yeah, dial S for Supreme, isn't that? No.
that's something. Yeah.
Yeah. America's Best Comics, 1, 2, 3.
Albion.
Alright, so here are, in my opinion, some of the Marvel vs. DC top 10 battles that didn't happen in 1996. So, like some limitations, I didn't really use a lot of newer characters
Because they weren't around
in 1996. So, like, you'll notice in, like, the Marvel vs. DC crossover, like, there's no Deadpool because he wasn't hot shit until, like, 1997. He started having his own solo series that was like, oh, super wacky. So, like, you're not going to get Deadpool versus Deadshot or whatever.
Sorry.
Slade versus Wade.
Yeah. The Battle of the Wilsons.
Yeah.
And Wilson Fisk is there. And Sam
Yeah,
Wilson.
Mr. Wilson versus Dennis the Man.
You know,
Yeah.
Wade Wilson and Sam Wilson are related.
All right.
Father and son.
So, number 10, Mr. Fantastic versus Plastic Man. They stretch a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I got these broken down as who would win and how it would be written. So, who would win? Mr. Fantastic. He's like 8 times as smart as Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately. And he...
No.
Nope.
Flatman shows up.
No, well...
Says
yeah.
hi, says hi, and then just falls down.
How it would be... Well, has there been a panel with Mr. Fantastic and Flatman in the same panel at the same time? Not
No,
sure.
I don't think.
Well, speaking of Flatman, that paper doll
Yes.
of Flatman you gave me, I have it in my car,
Uh-huh.
so now Wyatt knows who Flatman is.
Nice.
By name. He knows that that's Flatman.
He's my bookmark when I read like
Yeah.
graphic novels and shit.
I have it standing up on my dashboard.
So, how it would be written? Mr. Plastic turns into a lamp, a kite, maybe a canoe. Mr. Fantastic uses his anti-stretch gun he invented as a backup in case Reed ever went stretch nuts. Because, he invents shit all the
Stretch is
time.
nuts too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9, Superman versus Galactus. One's a god among men, the other's a demigod among gods, let's say. Who would win? Galactus. He would literally eat Superman for breakfast.
Does Galactus have a limit on how large he can get? Does he? Well, he doesn't change size, does he?
Well,
It
he
just
does.
sort of varies on how they decide to draw him, essentially.
Yeah, because it's what you picture him as. Because on Earth,
If he
we
eats
see
a
him
lot,
as this
does he
big
get
guy.
big?
No.
All right, fantastic.
No.
You want an answer? I'll give you one. I don't know if it's right.
No.
How it would be written? Krypton exists again. Is this an illusion? Superman is aghast. Then Galactus shows up to eat it, but Superman won't let Krypton die again. They fight a bit. Superman is rocked by Galactus's might, but survives. Then it turns out it was an illusion, thanks to, let's say, Brainiac or Mr. Mitzi Plick or some shit.
Yep.
So Superman lets Galactus eat the fake Krypton because nothing is real on the planet, and they go their separate ways, worlds apart.
Did he whoop Silver Surfer's ass first? Did Silver Surfer come creep on Krypton?
This is when Silver Surfer and Galactus are on the outs, which is
who's
most of
your
the
hero?
time.
Fire Lord.
Yeah.
Maybe in a little
Frankie
bit
Nova?
you get Galactus tries to make Superman his herald a little bit, but then he resists because he's Superman.
I'll let you save Krypton.
He's got it.
Become my herald.
He uses his super breath to blow away the heraldry.
No.
Number 8, Batman versus Iron Man. By the way, these are kind of in no particular order because
Oh, okay. Just the order you picked them.
yeah, pretty much.
The eighth one.
Exactly. Well, but also counting down backwards. So
Sorry.
yeah, Batman versus Iron Man. Both are rich inventors. One loves life, the other kind of hates it and just broods a lot. Who would win? Batman, because he's Batman,
Really?
and it's probably smarter than
World's greatest detective.
yeah, world's
And Iron Man's drunk.
yeah,
Yeah, in the 90s, he's really
Drunk.
drunk. Or
Yeah.
he's a kid.
yeah. So you know, like you
Or
might
a
be
drunk kid.
you might think like, oh, but he's got the suit of iron. Well, you know, he's got some electric batarangs, the Batwing, some other gadgets. That's gonna level the playing field. You'll probably world's greatest detective him real quick and offer him a martini.
Yeah. He's got computers. He can just hack his suit or something.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Some
it's-
bullshit like
if
that.
he gets the suit off,
Yep.
Iron Man can't fight.
Exactly.
I mean, Batman actually is trained where if Batman didn't have any gadgets, if
It's
Tony
an
Stark
EMP.
didn't have any gadgets, Batman would kick his ass.
Yes. So how it would be written? Pretty much all of that. Oh, maybe there's a Wayne Stark merger. Batman is suspicious of this Tony Stark prick, and Tony doesn't like being surveilled by him, so they fight a little bit, and let's say Batman wins. Although if it's an actual comic, they just stalemate and then
Team up.
fight Mandarin Al Ghul. Number 7, Watchmen versus Squadron Supreme. Both teams exist as parallel universes to fictional universes. One's a pastiche of the JLA, the other are allusions to other DC characters purchased from Charlton Comics.
Oh, Charleston.
How deep it goes. Both were deconstructions of the superhero genre in the 1980s.
Jean.
Squadron was much more fun, much more an actual comic book. Watchmen is much more serious, and of course much more successful.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's just a bet.
Who would win? The Watchmen, because Dr. Manhattan would just explode everyone.
Right. Or,
Well, unless they catch him when he's on Mars.
but he's always everywhere.
Yeah, he's literally omnipotent, and like the best you got is like a Superman
Omnipotent,
equivalent.
But does he care enough that he would do anything? See, I feel like he would see all this stuff happening and people
It's
would be
their own
like,
fault.
you gotta do this. And he's like, things will happen, and I'll be here.
Well, it's like Rust Crotch.
Rust
When
crotch?
they ask for Rorschach.
No.
When they ask for help, and I'll just say no. That's his thing.
No.
So yeah,
I'm good.
What about Power Pack versus Teen Titans?
hey, that's in my honorable mentions.
Oh.
Is it really?
No. But, so how it would be written? Bunch of rain. Rorschach's brooding, probably. Night Owl and Golden Archer discuss how they can't keep their women or erections. Number 6, Bucky versus Jason Todd. It's the battle of the dead sidekicks. Yeah. The battle of the dead sidekicks who came back as badasses. Who would win? Jason Todd's death is better, but Winter Soldier would kick Red Hood's ass because robot arm.
Right.
Yeah.
So who's to say in this topsy-turvy world?
What do you say, like, pre-death? Like, Bucky, when he was just...
Bucky versus Robin.
Right.
Probably Bucky.
Yeah, because I mean, there's
Doesn't
they've
wear
been
short
almost
pants.
Sort of like reboot. Well, not reboot, but like they go back
Retconned.
and they're like, oh, even in the war, he always did all these dirty jobs and was a horrible guy and killed people. Even when
Bucky?
when he was like 15,
Yeah.
he would do all the dirty work that Captain America couldn't.
Yeah, Bucky fought in war. Jason Todd was an acrobat.
Ha! I'll do
Or
a flip.
perhaps a street tough, if at best.
Street toughs.
Yes.
Trying to steal the wheels off the Batmobile.
So I'm thinking Bucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. How it would be written? Let's say Batman and Captain America wander around confused for 4 issues and scream "No!" while waking up in a cold sweat. Do I know him? Number 5. It's Superman versus Namor. The first superhero versus the first mutant. The first DC versus the first Marvel. The last son of Krypton versus what is sometimes the last Atlantean. Unless they have Atlantis
First
back.
mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dub him that. And he hangs out with the X-Men. Like,
Yeah.
Wasn't Apocalypse?
Well, so
The
he's
first
the
mutant?
yeah. They mean like good guy, I guess.
yeah, also
Or is he the first mutant in the comics?
yeah. Essentially,
the
essentially
Avengers books,
it's
he's
retconned
the-
that he's a mutant, but he appeared before Apocalypse by about 50 years.
Yeah.
So he's the
not
first
e-
mutant.
It's not even really a mutant. He's a hybrid. I mean,
Yeah, but he was born with powers, and then so in that respect,
yeah.
yeah.
What about Jesus?
Plus he must his like Atlanteans, they don't have wings on their feet.
No, they don't. That's
So
just a
that's his
great-
mutant power. His mutant power is wing feet. Like all that other stuff is part of his Atlantean heritage
What
with
about
the wing
Hermes?
feet.
Yeah, I think that's
He's a god. He's not a mutant.
Hermes not a god, is he?
yeah. He's a messenger god.
Yeah.
He's also
Is he the
like,
messenger of the god?
No, but
Well, he is also a god.
and he's also like the god of doctors because it's the Caudicus or
Uh huh.
whatever snakes
God,
around a
doctors.
serpent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Burroughs.
So Superman versus Namor. Who would win? Superman. Namor broke the Hulk's arm
We
once.
need to argue.
Superman is Superman. Superman is so Superman
Who
that
broke who's what?
Namor broke Hulk's arm once. Red Hulk?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
Red Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he had
that's-
the power, the fucking from those things.
Well, that's my
What
point. Namor broke Hulk's arm once. That's his biggest claim to fame.
Yes.
Superman is Superman.
Fear itself. Was it in that series?
He had the hammers.
I thought it was AVX.
No, it was when they get powers. Yeah, when,
The big hammers fall down.
yeah, Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And Colossus. No, Magic, not Colossus.
Yeah.
Magic gets it.
Magic and Thing and
Name, yeah,
Colossus.
that's when. Yeah, so he's got this super. He's even stronger than he usually is. So he, like,
Break.
Hulk punches him and he catches his hand and just goes.
No.
Busts his wrist.
Good.
That's it.
Yeah,
hate Red
but
Hulk.
Superman is Superman. So
Yeah.
you know.
He can do anything.
Yeah. How it would be written? They fight for a bit. Namor takes the fight to water.
He fish in the water.
He gets his
Boil it.
The oceans of the entire Earth.
he gets some hits in, but Superman recovers and Namor swims away. No resolution because it's a hero versus hero battle, so we can't have anybody win.
Or you can
Well,
freeze the ocean.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about how it'd be written, because we don't get any actual resolution.
So it
how
wasn't
these
going to
things
be
are
one of
written.
the Namor wants to destroy the surface world like every 10 years, or he just gets angry.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, hey, cut the shit.
Take it easy.
Number 4, Captain Marvel Jr. versus Ms. Marvel, the latest one. One is old school. One represents the new, diverse, affirmative action Marvel universe. Who would win? Well, let's say Ms. Marvel,
Who's
because
Captain Marvel Jr.? Like, I thought Captain Marvel Jr. was the Marvel guy, Genis Bell, or...
no, well, that's also Marvel.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I don't know.
No,
if
Captain Marvel Jr. is like he's got a blue Captain Marvel suit on instead.
Okay, I don't know that.
I don't, and also he is a child sidekick to Captain Marvel, who himself is a child in his secret identity. So, like, does a baby say Shazam and he becomes Captain Marvel Jr.? Yeah. How it would be written? Let's say in a way that online bloggers say it's refreshing and empowering, because like I don't have a problem with a diverse superheroes. It's more like the people who write the articles, like, finally.
Right.
It's like I see these articles like once every 3 to 4 months. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Golden Age. Oh shit. Number 3. Golden Age Captain America versus Golden Age Superman. when he could only leap tall buildings and was strong as a train. He wasn't God. Who would win? Probably Superman, but it's two barrel-chested bruisers slugging it out in the old school.
Captain America can't jump over buildings and stop trains.
How would
He
be
is patriotic.
Yes.
He has the power
He's
of
got
America.
behind him.
Yeah. How it would be written? After misunderstanding, Cap and Superman fight for a few, but then they team up to fight the real threat. Hideous racist caricatures of Japanese people during World War II.
Yep.
Yep.
What if he's fighting Red Sun Superman?
Oh.
I have an old, 1940s Superman cartoons that got, like, the dollar DVDs at Walmart.
Yeah, the Max Fleischer.
Yeah, Superman flies to Japan every night.
Yes.
And just fucking murders Japanese people. Like, blows up bridges with convoys of trucks and stuff, and then he goes under the water and pulls ships down by their anchor under the water, and then he flies home.
Under the sea.
Flies back home, takes a nap, and comes back the next night.
Yeah. Good old-fashioned bigotry.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
We were at war.
Number 2. Punisher versus Green Arrow. Let's say the TV/Netflix version, so it's snazzy. Who would win? Netflix Punisher doesn't F around, and Stephen Amell is locked in a lifetime feud with WWE flunky Stardust, Cody Rhodes. So Punisher gets the nod in this battle, because guns. Blata, blata. How it would be written? Let's say some compelling dialogue, some of those snazzy action sequences, maybe some dark lighting, perhaps a one-take hallway fight for about 45 minutes. They're just punching each other down the hallway, punching, going through doors, and everyone's like, oh my god.
Down the staircase, maybe.
Maybe some yelling about Punisher's family. Gripping drama.
But Punisher kills.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Some honorable...
Shoot him right in the face.
Yeah, at the very least, he like, kneecaps him. If he finds out, you're actually kind of a hero, but...
Shoot off his hands.
Bone arrows are for sissies.
So, in our honorable mention section, Power Pack versus Teen Titans. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Superman versus Hyperion, the fake Superman from the Squadron Supreme.
Or Superman versus Sentry.
Sure, why not?
Even more Superman ripoff.
Mm-hmm. Our first tag team match of the evening, Plastic Man and Elongated Man versus Mr. Fantastic and Flat Man. Mr. Mitzelplick versus Slapstick, whichever version, because apparently there's a new one in Deadpool Mercs for Hire that's like a female.
Female slapstick?
Yeah. She's like a real person, not a cartoon character.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't really care.
Probably not a big deal.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Penguin versus Howard the Duck.
Oh, I was duck.
Yeah.
Foul.
Black Lightning versus Black Goliath. Racism.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman versus Wonder Man.
Wonder sex.
Yeah, yeah. But then Wonder Woman's immediately filled with regret because Wonder Man's kind of a douchebag.
Literally filled.
Yeah, regret. I just regret it all over you. The only real matchup in the honorable mentions: Green Lantern versus Hulk. That'd be neat. You know, can he contain the giant with his green box?
No.
Speaking of which, She-Hulk.
She could show up on these Netflix series.
Yeah.
Or fight in a court case against Matt Murdock. Again, real quick. Oh, we have a case against Jennifer Walters.
Yeah, if they establish the character first, and then...
Slowly...
I think she'd need to have her own solo series first, though.
That wouldn't work. Because it's a She-Hulk
Ronda
series.
Rousey. Just paint her green. Lou Ferrigno style.
And of course...
Get China.
Well...
If you painted China green, that is a She-Hulk.
Yeah,
you do realize...
She's 72 years old.
You do realize she was in a porno parody of the Avengers as She-Hulk.
No, I don't.
Okay, then.
Now I have something new to watch tonight.
With the family.
Gather the kids.
Hey,
Time to watch Avengers.
It's
It's a lot more penetration than I remembered. I remembered some.
It's alright.
That's great.
Any other honorable mentions you guys got?
It would be good to see maybe some bad guys. I don't have one off the top of my head, but bad guys are usually
and
more
Lady
compelling.
Stiltman. Lady Stiltman, come on.
Like the Riddler versus
Patchface, typeface.
Arcade.
Oh, yeah.
actually, yeah, I think that was actually no. I think it was
Tricks.
I think it was Arcade versus
No.
Batman on like the trading cards that had other matchups for the Marvel versus DC.
Does DC have some sort of
Taskmaster.
Nazi guy, like Red Skull versus?
Probably
Hitler.
Baron von Nazi.
They probably just have Hitler.
Well, Hitler's in Marvel too.
Yeah.
That's the one crossover character.
Hate monger.
Hitler versus Hitler. DC Universe Hitler versus Marvel Hitler.
Who can make it look more
Versus
like
Hitler's
an asshole
brain from
win?
Savage Dragon. I'm pretty sure there was a character that
Yeah.
had Hitler's brain in like a robot body. Of course, I had one last one. Azrael and Steel versus U.S. Agent and Thunderstrike.
Oh,
It's the shitty replacements taking each other on. Yeah, maybe like the Guardian versus Guardian / Vindicator. Because there's Crime Buster versus Nighthawk or Night Thrasher.
You mean Gangbuster?
Yeah, Gangbuster versus Night Thrasher. There it is. Speedball versus fucking I don't even know.
Alright, well, the only ones I care about, who would face the rest of the GLA? Who could fight Big Bertha? What's the DC equivalent of some big obese woman?
I don't know that many DC characters, so let's
There
say
are more. I googled like how many characters each. There's like DC has like 10,000. Marvel has like 7,000. So within those 10,000, I'm sure there's an obese woman.
Yep. Alright, Squirrel Girl versus Lobo, and she wins.
Yeah,
Sounds
they'd
about
be
right.
friends too.
Yep.
Flatman versus Plastic Man or Elongated Man. Elongated Man, just go even more weird.
Doorman versus, is there any sort of,
Dr. Fate.
yeah,
Plastic Man turns himself into a key.
Mr. Immortal.
Superman. Beats the shit out of
Come
him.
to life. Dinosaur, even though I know she's dead and all, but
Man Bat.
yeah, alright.
All
I'm
right.
satisfied.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that's enough. All right, so our number. Getting back to this meandering list. Number 1.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have any more?
No,
All
that's
right.
it.
Angel versus Hawkman.
Beast Boy versus Beast.
In the Beast Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beast Boy would still win.
Because he goes into an elephant and sits on him.
Still win. Yeah, he could turn into something big. He could turn into dinosaurs.
Or a flea and just
Yep.
start sucking
Yeah.
his flesh.
What about
Drive
Beast
him
Boy
fucking
versus Devil
crazy.
Dinosaur?
Dinosaur Jr.?
Exactly. All right, so number 1, Green Lantern versus Deadpool. Just it's the trendy one. Ryan Reynolds' greatest failure takes on his greatest non-pizza place related accomplishment.
I think probably his greatest accomplishment is banging some of those bitches.
Like Alanis Morissette?
Mm-hmm. She banged a lot of bitches.
Uh huh.
No.
No, he banged.
Her being one of the bitches that he
Yeah.
banged.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Well,
that.
she is God in the Dogma universe.
Yeah.
Which is maybe that takes place in the
Speaking
DC universe.
Speaking of Ben Affleck and Kevin Smith.
Right. And Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. Could be in any universe, we just don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in every universe.
Maybe that's the secret identity of Green Lantern, really.
What the fuck's his name? Berg.
Really?
Yes.
How do you remember that?
Because I watched some like promos from it when I was doing the
Oh.
last time we talked about Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. So who would win? Deadpool.
Obviously.
Mo Money has the power of fourth wall breaking, so he could just run out of the panel real quick.
And pause.
Healing factor. He's got it all.
Yeah.
He's like the one Billy Gunn. How it would be written? How much cheeky Ryan Reynolds joke voice can you handle? I'd love for my piece to be on you. So much Van Wilding.
Yeah.
Jokes and jokes and jokes until the audience is reduced to a chortling pile of amniotic fluid.
Then they don't even have to finish the movie. They don't have to
It's
finish.
He mentioned that one time he had the
Really
CG costume, and then they mentioned how they can't have the X-Men in
He
the
doesn't
movie.
like green.
And then they mention how Spider-Man's here. And then they mention hammers. And then they mention helicarriers. And then they mention 90s.
Just
And
to
he,
be-
The movie only has to
he
be
loves
15
Hello Kitty.
15
Oh.
minutes long because that's how long anybody can go. And then that's all it is. 15, 20 minutes max.
Yeah, it just slowly fades the audio and picture out to nothing. But like by then everybody's left.
It gets smaller and smaller. Oh, yeah. And then you're dead.
Yeah, so there's the crossover movie we need to make happen.
Really?
Actually, just apropos of this, pretty much, they were like, "Oh my god!" Like whoever wrote or whatever produced the Deadpool movie was like, "Oh, I so wish we could have a Spider-Man Deadpool crossover." Never gonna happen
Can
because
you do
like,
Marvel team-up movies? Spider-Man, all of them.
2 in 1.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger, Spider-Man, and the New Mutants.
Paladin,
Yeah, Jack Hearts. He's a
Gargoyle.
Machine Man.
Gargoyle.
Yeah, Nighthawk.
Yeah.
US 1.
Oh, yeah.
Driver.
Oh, God. He has ties to Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. He was a
Well, they already.
no. He interviewed to be the nanny. I don't think he got the job though.
Oh,
But that's
and the
that's his
Avengers.
most recent appearance in a comic book. Was they were looking for a nanny. And
I have a
he
Deadpool team up
interviewed.
of him. I don't know if it came out before or after that. Like they did a big, I don't know, 20-issue Deadpool team up run, and I got those. And there's one where he's with US 1
Really?
truck driving.
So
It's good.
there'll probably be some character called Ulysses Solomon, but he's never actually becomes US one.
But it's Solomon Kane, Solomon
Solomon
Grundy,
Archie.
Ulysses Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, USG.
Hold on. Yeah, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. We've been talking about US one. Good stuff.
Who came
Nighthawk.
up with that one?
Yeah, I think we need a US one solo series. They said they're gonna make Marvel stuff forever, so eventually I'm gonna get my Black Knight series.
Well, that's at least 7,000 plus characters that they have. Everybody gets their own solo movie.
Stingray.
It, the living colossus, that guy in a wheelchair that controls a big stone.
Doughboy.
Mudbutt.
Doughbutt.
Doughbutt.
So yeah,
Grow up.
do you think we'll ever see a DC Marvel crossover again?
No, not now anymore. Like,
Not now anymore.
not now anymore until 2099.
Talking comics.
Yeah.
Or in anything.
Well, only in comics because they haven't even made those because, like I said,
When was the last one? 2004.
I think so.
Yeah. They won't now.
Yeah, because
Now that
Marvel's
movies are
so
happening.
up its own ass with like, we can't make comics with people because they'll promote movies we don't own.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really think that's how that works, man.
No.
Any exposure is, any publicity is good publicity, right? Isn't that the thing?
That is the thing.
That's what
I've
people
heard
say.
that before.
Yeah, well, it's like the rising tide floats all boats.
Right.
You know?
I got another matchup.
You know?
Kang versus whatever super team of the 30th century that Superboy's on.
Oh, the Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah. Why doesn't Kang show up and just kill them all
Oh, yeah, well,
real quick?
maybe,
Sorry.
Why not?
maybe Ramatut.
No.
Ramatama?
Alright, so, until next time,
We've
we'll...
beaten this one.
Until Ultra Force versus Image crossover, this has been the What If Podcast bonus crew. that's our new. In closing, let me remind you that the What If Podcast is available in myriad media. Audio is available on iTunes and Stitcher, maybe something called Blubrry, a little bit on SoundCloud, but the accounts on there are expensive, so only a little bit at a time. Videos of the podcast are available on YouTube, and some on Vimeo. There's also a related Tumblr at whatifcolors.tumblr.com, and all of this is visible at theslimjames.com/WIP. So go out there and find us, and don't spend the rest of your life asking, what if?